Alright YouTubes, today's video is just going to be a quick painting video. Fair amount of panels to paint on this job, so I'll give you a quick look at it. So it's a BMW m135 and yeah, we've got this rear door, quarter and front door to do. Just slight crease through there and scratches through it. Again, scratches into the door, into the dog leg and into the quarter, a couple of chips, and then yeah, so room to blend in that door and up round the camp rail. We've got a side skirt to do from this side, from the passenger side, that had some deepish scratches in it, and yeah, a few marks and chips in it. Door handle been caught as well, so that I had a scrape across the top of it. It was a little bit tricky, that door handle, to repair. And this door, it's just it's quite a sharp, nasty dent with a little scratch in it. So that rear door and blend, and this front bumper corner, just a smart repair, and that just had a few little scrapes and yeah, a few marks in it. Bit tricky. I'm not totally happy about doing a smart repair on this, but yeah, I didn't want the whole front bumper doing, so it'd be okay. Trouble is, I've got 3 blends to do, and yeah, it's all a little bit tight, but it'd be okay. Yeah, they've got a lot of trims on these cars. Trim, lower splitter, all different coloured trims. So yeah, it's parking sensors as well. So yeah, it does make it a bit awkward. It's nice to just get the whole, you know, the bumper off and strip it all out and get all the bits off of it. But we'll get round it. And yeah, sensors, I just paint over them. What I do, like we've done there for the primer, just paint them, and instead of masking them up, because it looks untidy when you mask them up, so just paint them, and then when it's fully cured, just use a little pick tool and you can pick it off of that rubber, and it normally comes off 9 times out of 10. It comes off really cleanly, doesn't look like it's been masked, and yeah, it's good results. I find it's better just to paint over them and get it off afterwards. It normally works well, that, than trying to mask them up. So you're never going to get a real decent edge trying to mask that little circle off, and them little pads that you can get masking circles, they don't seem to work very well. I've tried those. So yeah, I just find just paint them, and then you can just peel it off of the rubber afterwards, and it looks fine. So yeah, that's what we're doing on that. Lovely colour, this car. It's Misano blue, it's called. It looks almost like a flatty pastel-y blue, but it's got a fair bit of metallic in it in the light, and a bit of pearl in it as well. So yeah, lovely colour, and yeah, fair amount of paint. So it's all ready to go. So the guns and the clear coat I will be using on this one. So from a base coat, it's a normal gun, my X5500 with a 1.2i, and that's a HVLP. And then clear coat, I'm going to use my X5500 with 1.20 in it. That's an RP. And then yes, Mipa water base as normal. And the clear coat I'm going to use on this is the CC14 Thicks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it with this. I've been using it more and more. I'm getting really good results with it. I'm still playing about with it a little bit, but yeah, results are really good with it. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, the Thicks Tropic CC14 will be going on this one. So it's all ready to go. I've got all the colour mixed. It's all degreased. I'll get it blown off and tacked off, and we'll get some paint on it.
Right then, YouTube's base coat application on this job. The gun I'm using is a Satajet X5500 HVLP, and it's got a 1.2i setup in it. I did have a 1.3i with this paint system, but this Mipa water base is thin 20%, so it's quite a lot thinner as that is for a water base. Most of them are around 5-10%. Ones I've used anyway in the past. But it's not a one visit base coat, and being thin 20%, it's quite thin. But it's got really good coverage, so I found when I had a 1.3 in it, I was overloading it a little bit, and this base coat doesn't like to be overloaded. You don't need to flood it on there. It's not like a you know, the one visit ones where you need to flood it on there and get all your coverage. But the coverage is, the opacity of this paint's really good. So it's got great coverage. It's a pure water base coat, it's not a latex one, so it's got great coverage. But with that being finned at 20%, like I say, a heavier setup, slightly heavier setup, you can overload it, which it doesn't like. And yeah, being pure water, you need to make sure that water's completely out of this base coat, because you will run into issues with it. But the upside to it, like I say, it's got really good coverage, even at 20% thinners. So when it dries silky smooth, flat, no texture in it whatsoever, and that stops any pinch back or dye back in your clear coat. One thing I'd never get with this base coat is the base coated area, the clear coat finish looks the same as where it does just in the blend area, with clear coat on clear coat. So yeah, you never get any dye back or you know, base coat pinch back from this base coat, which is brilliant. But you have to make sure it's dried out properly, so it doesn't want to be overloaded. You've got to judge it by the coverage on this base coat, not by how the wet film looks, because the wet film of this base coat looks textured and patchy, so it almost gives you an indication that you need to put more on. This colour was quite transparent, but yeah, this video is from a while ago now, so I think, yeah, I sprayed that little bit on the spout card and there's a few bits come through, so I thought, oh, maybe I never put the little filter in, but no, I did. It must have been either something in the gun or something's pulled its way through that filter, and then I spilled a little bit on my finger as well. So yeah, quite often, if I remember, I don't do it all the time, I always spray my first bit of base coat in an inconspicuous area, like on a spray out card, or you know, like on something that's small, like, you know, like that trim, just in case there is anything that flies out. I'm quite meticulous about cleaning my spray guns out, same procedure all the time. I blow them all through. The water based one I clean out, and then I go in the booth and I blow it through with a little squirty bottle, blow it through with water based gun cleaner, and the same with the solvent. After it's gone through the gun machine, I go in the booth and I blow it all through. So 99% of the time, every time I pick up my spray gun, it's the same. It's never not spraying right, or, you know, very rarely there's anything that ever comes through it, any bits. So yeah, this colour was looking a bit transparent, so that sort of half coat was showing that primer through, and I've got white primer on it. There was no indication on the system. There's an indication that a colour's a bit transparent, you know, some colours are in any system. It will give you an indication of putting a coloured primer on. It will tell you, you know, maybe put a light grey on or put a white on, but this colour didn't, so normally that's a good indicator that it will cover normally in the two coats. This is a two coat system, so I put white on it because the breakthroughs, the factory undercoat on this car was white, so I always pretty much copy or get it near enough the same as what the factory have put on. They you know, different cars that you sand down, you know, they have different undercoats on them, so that's what I do. I just copy it, and so yeah, you dry that first coat out, that first half coat out, just dry that out. It's essential to dry that out really, so you don't go banging it all on in one coat or trying to get your coverage straight away. Dry that first half coat out, and then you can do sort of two individual coats dry in between, or I just double up on the coats like a double header. They're not like full sopping wet coats. I just, as you can see, I just go back over, start in one place, get to the end, and then go back on myself. And you know, that's the second coat really, but I double it up, and it covers, most colours cover like that. If it is a colour that's maybe a bit transparent, I would do the half coat, then I do a single coat and dry that, and then I do that double header coat like I've done there. So yeah, you can see it's grinning through a little bit, but after that one pass it's covered, and then give it the second pass over, and then get all my blending done. So you get all your application, get all your blending done while it's all wet, and then you need to get that dried out, and that's it. You know, this base coat's essential to be dried out properly, but it doesn't take that long to dry out, and there's additives to aid you with drying on this system. You can replace the thinner with a solvent type, like thinner. So instead of putting the water thinner in it, there's a solvent to go in it which aids with drying. You can use it all as solvent, replace the water with a solvent. It must be like an alcohol based, so it evaporates instead of having to dehydrate. You can do 50-50 with water and the solvent. They go together, which will speed it up a little bit. And you can put hardener in it as well, just to guarantee that it does cure, even if it did look dry and you clear coated it, and there may have been a bit of moisture set in it, you know, left in it. Then if you've got the activator in it, the hardener, 5% hardener, it guarantees it will cure it under the clear coat. But you only really use that on the 3-stage jobs. That you need to put that in on the 3-stage jobs on your first application to put the hardener in. So yeah, and with the hardener as well, it makes it it gives it a sheen, a protection, so you could use it under bonnets and stuff like that. It wouldn't need clear coat on it. It's protected where it's been activated with the hardener. So that's all the base coat almost done now. If you notice, like on that little blowing on that bumper, I'm trying to angle the overspray towards the left hand side of that bumper, not into where my blending area is. You know, there's 3 little blends to do there, and I start at that end and then angle it away, and then right at the end I'll just do my little bit of fading out, just to try and minimise the amount of overspray going into my, you know, into that little blending zone. So that I get all that dried out. I put it on bake at 45 degrees, going over a blower, and then blow it all out. Doesn't take too long. I have to go around the whole car and blow it by hand. I haven't got any stands for them or anything like that. And then just get it cooled down, get it back to normal spraying temperature, 23 degrees, 22, 23 degrees, and then drop that pressure down to 1 bar, and yeah, increase the distance, almost double the distance, and then give it a nice drop coat all over. Normally 1 drop coat, especially colours like this where they're not real high metallic content in them. Get a nice even drop coat over the whole base coated area, and drop coat in your blending area as well. Do a little bit more blending. That any, you know, if higher metallics, if you've got, you know, a bit of a shadow around your blend area, or, you know, a bit of a halo, slight halo, then doing that drop coat into it pretty much will eliminate that. It will get rid of it. Does blend lovely, this base coat. One of the best ones I've used so far. Water, you know, for blending on high metallics, really blends in well. So yeah, get that drop coat on there, the effect coat. Give it 1 normally. You can, if you think it's looking a little bit patchy, let that drop coat dry out, preferably let it dry naturally, and then yeah, just give it another one. But yeah, you can change the shade a little bit by the second one. So we're on to clear coat now. Again, Satajet X5500. This one's a 1.20 setup, so like a traditional setup, 1.20, and it's an RP. 2 bar on the first coat. Clear coat I'm using on this is Mipa's new fixed tropic clear coat, which is CC14. And yeah, this job was from a while ago, so I still am actually still experimenting with some thinners ratios and pressures and fluid at the moment. And yeah, from what I remember, there's like a bit of fluff landed in it there, but it landed in the overspray, which was handy, so I didn't really have to touch the film to get it off. Yeah, I got a feeling it might have been coming. So I'm wearing my airfed respirator, and that's got a hood on it that can get a bit overspray over it, and the camera's mounted on there now. So yeah, I'm not sure if bits may be coming off of there, the camera. So just give myself a bit of a blow down by the extractor before I carry on, in case there is any loose bits on me. But managed to pick that bit up, no problem. So yeah, the CC14. Yeah, like I say, this was a little while ago now, so I've used it a few more times. So this may have been maybe the second, third job I've done with it. Real decent clear coat. It's sort of their higher end one, that one of their best ones they do, their most expensive. The fixed tropic part of it, it's got really good stability, so it's designed to be, you can load it on heavy, can go on in thick layers, you can put more than 2 coats on, so it would be good for like restoration and stuff like that, if you want to flatten polish, stuff like that. The one great advantage with it, which is what I'm loving about it, is you can really get that heavy wet finish with it, but it doesn't build up on anything, so it looks like it's going to build up on edge. You're always going to get factory paint's got doors have got a little fat edge on the edge of them, and wings, and you always get that that natural edge building up on a paint film, but this stuff doesn't do it. That's one great thing about it. It's really resistant to that, and yeah, so it's resistant to running. I haven't pushed it too far yet to see if I could get it to run, but paint rep spoke to me that they pushed it, and they said it was really hard to run. So yeah, touch wood, I haven't got any runs with it yet. So yeah, that's one good advantage with it. The other one is resistant to solvent pop and boil, so it can be baked even at thick layers, and it won't boil on you, it won't solvent pop. And that's where you'll find you'll get solvent boil. I've used clear coats in the past, do a really nice job, really happy with it, whack it on bake, and you've got that build on an edge where it's built up and it's thick, gone thicker on that edge, and you get boil down that edge, and it ruins the job. It don't polish out or nothing. You just flatten polish it, it pops the little boils, and all your compound sits in it, and especially on a dark car, black or something, you can see it looks like frost on there. So yeah, that's the other advantage. It doesn't solvent boil on you, which is great. But I must admit, all the Mipa clear coats I've used, even the quick dry ones, CX4, CX2, I haven't had any issues with solvent boil. My booth bakes decent. I get decent panel temperatures, baking at 60, not far off 60 on the panel temperatures. But yeah, I haven't had any issues with that. With solvent boil and stuff like that. So yeah, like I say, I've been playing about with the thinners in this, so it's 0 to 5%. I've done the 5, and then I've gone and worked my way down to 2. It's a bit gloopy, a bit thick. Got to get your paint temperature right, especially this time of year. So yeah, I'm finding the sweet spot with it is 4%. I know it's only 1% less than the full amount. I never go over. I never over thin really. I'll adjust other things like paint temperature pressure in the gun, because I find over thinning clear coats, putting more in than what they say, you lose something with that. You lose the integrity of the clear coat. It shrivels down into itself, and it picks up on base coat and stuff like that. It's, yeah, I like the film build to look, you know, to have some depth to it, you know, have some guts to it. I don't want it all wishy-washy and looking thin. Might look shiny, but yeah, it's got to have that decent build on it. You know, high solid clear coats are good for that. Getting that decent build, you know, a factory paint finish on a modern car, on the majority of them, you know, they've got that build. So yeah, over thinning clear coats not something I like doing, to be fair. Maybe okay on, you know, if you flow coating when you've already got a bit of depth of gloss there. So yeah, I'm finding 4% thinners on this is seems to be the sweet spot for me on this so far. But yeah, I can't remember what I've done on this job. It may have been 4%, or maybe 5%. I can't remember. So yeah, even though it's got that fixed prop it is, I didn't want that to sort of, you know, that could give you a bit of false sense of security, and knowing, oh, it's not going to run on me, or I can put it on in thick layers. Yeah, I was still being cautious with it. It's quite a heavy gun, that 1.2. The O setups on Satas, they're quite a heavy gun. Always, you know, they've always had the nickname stodgy Satas and stuff like that, because they are heavy guns. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say you've got only real men can handle them, but no, I'm not saying it. Well, I've said it now. Fuck it, I've said it. But no, I'm only messing about. So yeah, I do have the fluid wound in a little bit on that gun, regardless of whatever clear coat I'm using. I use 4 different clear coats here, all Mipa. And I do wind it in, so I always set my fluid control from when I know it's full trigger, when I can feel resistance on the trigger, the indicators at the top, that's full trigger, and then I wind in from there, so I know. And it's normally about half a turn, quarter of a turn, just to restrict it that little bit. And then yeah, normally around 2 bar. I experiment a little bit, dip it down to 1.9, crank it up to 2.1, 2.2. You're cranking it up, you're going to get smaller droplets, so it's going to go on a bit flatter looking. You wind it down a little bit, your pressure, your droplets are going to be a bit bigger, so you're going to get a bit of a chunkier finish. And yeah, so I'll adapt that to what I'm looking for. BMWs are quite renowned for having chunky finishes on them, but these later ones, I reckon they must have got rid of the old robot that was painting them, and they must have a new robot in there, because he's putting thinner, flatter finishes on these BMWs, so the film build doesn't look as heavy. I don't know if anyone might know, but like the, you know, like the, I don't know, like the BMW, like E90s, like that, the E series of BMWs, like I always remember 3 Series convertibles and that the finish on them was, oh, it was like thick treacle, honestly. And I used to get runs on them jobs trying to copy it. But yeah, they have changed. The finishes do change a little bit. They're a bit flatter now, BMWs. You know, these new G series BMWs are definitely a bit flatter than BMWs of past. There's quite a lot on the internet about orange peely finishes on BMWs, but I like that type of finish, to be honest with you. So yeah, always playing about with it, changing it to suit, really. So like I say, still early days with this clear coat, so I'm sort of just being overcautious, checking it all, and you know, adding a little bit more clear coat in areas that I think could be a little bit wetter. Yeah, like I say, I need to push this clear coat to the limit, really, so I know, but I don't want to be doing it on jobs like this, you know. It's just a nice high spec car, So yeah, you know, I just want to get the job right. Same with all my jobs. You know, I want to get my jobs right. And I don't know if I come across as maybe sound a little bit down a little bit, and I'll be honest with you, I am a little bit. I'm struggling a little bit with the business. This time of year is always like it. I've been here like nearly 20 years now, so I am used to it. But I do put everything into my paintwork, and I don't know, I'm not getting the jobs I would like to get here, to be honest with you. So, you know, some jobs don't pay that well, and when you put the same effort into jobs that are not paying that well, I spend good money on good stuff at my workshop, at my body shop, and I spend it for my own satisfaction, you know. I might be going on a bit of a rant here, but it's just something I want to say, to be honest with you. I spend good money on good stuff, and it doesn't warrant it on the type of work I get a lot of the time. But it's for my own satisfaction. I put everything into my paint jobs, every aspect of it, you know. And there's always stuff that you fall short on. They're never 100%. They're never perfect. But I probably spend too much money on materials and tools for it. But they've got to make me happy. Them jobs have got to look right to me. I'm not really bothered what the customer thinks, because I know if I'm happy with it, then the customer is going to be over the fucking moon with it. That's how I feel. That's, you know, that's how I look at the paint jobs. They got to be right. They got to satisfy me, because getting to this stage where you're painting a job, we've done it from the beginning, from the repair, stripping, right up to this stage. It's got to be, it's got to be 110% putting into the paint application. Because what's the point of all that effort beforehand to then go and put a mediocre paint job on it? Yeah. Oh, I don't know what I'm going on about, to be honest with you. I'll be totally honest with you. Doing all these YouTube videos, it's starting to have an effect on me and on the business. You know, it's I'm doing YouTube. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been great. It's been a massive learning curve. I've met people, I chat with people, and I'll give him a shout out. Trigger Man, I speak to him on a personal level now, and he's been helping with my channel, and it's fantastic. The community and all of that side of things, and the learning curve of it. But I do want to earn some money out of it, to be honest with you. I'm not a greedy person. I'm not expecting to make a career out of it, but it'd be nice to help the business along, with what me and Reese do on the cars, and the effort we put into it, and the effort that I'm putting into the YouTube. It's taking up all of my spare time to do these videos, and it's not really paying. I know it's got to grow, and I am tired of it, to be honest with you. I'm getting tired of it every evening, and then through the day trying to record stuff and that. So I'm going to be taking a little break from this video. This is going to be my last video for a little while. I need to just reassess. I need to get my business back on track. We've got work, and yeah, we're not out of work, but I'm struggling to cope with all of it as a one-man band and a one-man band outfit, and it's having a little bit of effect on Reese as well. It can cause some arguments sometimes when I may have said to record something and he hasn't, and yeah, it's just getting in the way a little bit. So yes, it's time for a break, I think. I've debated. I've had to have a good long think about it. I've got plenty of footage for loads of other jobs, and I've tried other things, and you know, I'm getting views, don't get me wrong, I'm getting views, and I'm grateful for everyone's lovely comments and all the rest of it, but yeah, I just need a break from it, really. That's all. So sorry to to end it on a bit of a downer, a bit of a low note, but yeah, I just want to say a massive thanks for everyone watching, to be honest with you, and to getting me to where I am now. If it weren't for you lot watching and subscribing and all the rest of it, I wouldn't be where I am now. So yeah, I am really grateful for it, I really am. And yeah, just finish off this little bit of fade out. If you notice, I pulled away the little flap that I had there. I got that little trick off of a YouTuber, the Dutch paint guy, making a little pocket out of tape. Works really well. The tape stuck to the panel sort of removes a bit of dirt and crap that may be in your blending zone where you haven't, you know, I sort of blend into a bit of a polished area. And yeah, another great thing about YouTube, you can learn stuff. And yeah, I've got that little blending trick just helps. Sometimes you get them little bits going there. So anyway, that's it for this one. Massive thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be around again soon. Look after yourselves. Cheers.